Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Stream of Chaos. My name is James, and I am the keeper for this game of Shadows over Stillwater, which is a Call of Cthulhu campaign set in the Down Darker Trails setting. That's Call of Cthulhu in the Wild West. I'm joined, as I always am, by this fantastic crew of wonderful investigators, but let's get them to introduce themselves. Why don't we? Why don't we, rather? Would you like to start, please, Jackson?
I'd love to. Hey, I'm Jackson, playing U.S. Marshal Jeremiah MacDonald. Last we saw him, he was invited to hand over his badge, and he thought, "No, just go one more job, just one more job." And then he had to open his wallet to pay for an armored vehicle at some point. Or did we pay for the armored vehicle? No, we didn't.
No,
He
but
almost opened his wallet to pay for an
promise
armored
was
vehicle.
made.
A suggestion was made.
Jackson, are you telling me this is your last job before retirement?
Well, the whole Green-Eyed Gang was going to be. So technically, it's done. But we found one more member, so
everyone
this
knows.
is it.
Everyone knows last job before retirement always goes smoothly.
Yeah.
Well.
It could be going any better. Fantastic. Daniel, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, hey, I'm Daniel. I'm playing mountain man Griff Gutherson, who is like a really old mountain man come down from the Rockies to help out, to also help find the Green-Eyed Gang. And last time I was scouting out the place we think the bad guys are at, and I saw a statue that cut open the sky, and the sky, and on the other side was like cosmic horrors unlike any man has ever seen. But I maintained my sanity.
Managed to ride away at full speed. Yeah, fantastic. Now, I should clarify, the statue didn't itself cut open the sky. Or did it? It was a little difficult to say.
Griff's not that smart.
Of course. Art, do you want to jump in?
Hi, I'm Art. I played Dr. Joseph Waite, who is questionably good at this point, I think. Still mostly cares about the future of humanity, just the way we get there might be questionable. And I think last time we saw me outside of being questionable was discovering a bunch of cultist robes and sickles and stuff.
All kinds of interesting, fun things. Fantastic. And Dave.
Hello, I'm Dave. I play Grease. I've got a badge. I'm really keen to get an armored wagon so that we can raid a town, and there's a comic book series named after me. I'm playing a different campaign to everyone else. It's fucking awesome.
It's a good time. That's the wonder of youth. Excellent. So for those of you who are just joining us, our characters, our investigators, have been playing for a long time now, and this is one of the final acts. So if you're just jumping in here, then I suggest that you go onto our YouTube channel and you catch back up. But if you are stubborn and would like to stay around here, then the long and the short of it is that our investigators have been hot on the heels of the Green-Eyed Gang, which are a gang of outlaws for a very long time, and they have finally caught up with all of them, at least all of the ones they knew about. They have discovered that the Green-Eyed Gang was actually led by somebody called Christopher, who appeared to be the source of all of the mythos weirdness that was imbued into the gang. So they have decided to go and track down Christopher, despite people, in particular, Mac's boss, saying to leave the investigation where it was. They've risked everything. They put it all on the line. They've gone back to Stillwater, where they're undertaking preparations to go to a place called Castronegro, where supposedly Christopher is held up in a town that isn't on many maps and has supposedly been around here since it was first founded by those fleeing the Spanish Inquisition. So we'll jump back in to Stillwater, and it is pouring with rain. Droughts have broken. Many months of heat have been swept away, and there is just this constant trickle and steady hammering of dirty, dusty rain This is like something that you'd expect in the wetter areas of England, not something you'd expect in Stillwater, but these seasons do change, and occasionally you do get sudden delusions like this. The collection of you have been locked up inside as much as that is possible, considering there's not much to do in this frontier town, doing your research and getting ready for Griff to come back and give you the information about the town that you need before you go off on your way. Can I get the three of you who aren't currently riding through the pouring rain with all the horrors of eternal darkness on your heels to let me know what you've been up to in the past little while? What have you been studying? What have you been researching? This is your chance, if you'd like one, for another roll into some kind of preparation that you'd like to make for the move towards Castronegro. Doc, I think that you always have some research you're getting up to. Do you want to start off?
Oh, I will be researching.
Okay, fantastic. What specifically are you going to be looking into?
I thought you might ask me that. I mean, last time I was doing my best impression of the man with the corkboard and the red string. But I have sickles and robes now.
Yeah.
Which means I'm probably still doing the same thing with the corkboard and the red string, except I'm not sure if corkboard and red string exists yet. But, you know, that.
You can be a pioneer.
I think we've got a handle on string. It seems mean. We got that one, I think. Corkboard's maybe.
Red? Oh, no.
Cork is from
someone
Portugal.
bled on it. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm probably doing the same thing, looking through the information that I currently have, looking through the new information that I've gained, and trying to find out just more about the fuck is going on.
And specifically, though, you're looking at Castronegro. You're not diving into the secrets of the serpent person technology that you have? No, you're holding it off again. You have these discs, these archives that you really want to crack open and get into, but unfortunately you cannot. And tempting you all the while is this syringe that your old mentor gave you, which supposedly will assist you.
That's in my bag and has not come out.
Okay,
I haven't looked at it. It's in the pocket that it was slid into.
Yep.
It's just there.
Better keep it well. Better keep it well away. You don't want that thing to become too tempting.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get you to make for me then. Just make me another history check, a history roll.
Can I not? My history's 5.
Basically, you've reached the point where you've hit walls in terms of what you can find out from an administrative level. You're going to be looking into more myths and legends and stories about the place. If you have a cult skill, I'm happy for you to use that too. But there are directions in that academic study that you're not particularly too familiar with. If you can think of a different direction you'd like to take things, though, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, what would you like to?
I would like to go through all of my notes that I have and work out if there's anything that I have. Like, honestly, at this point, I'm probably going through those tablets, but not looking at snake biology, seeing if there's any references to weird shit. Also, I've got the dude's book. I've got that weird book that I started reading and then was like,
To the Waters I Go, absolutely. The book from Elijah Smythe. You can go through all of this and collate it. Now, Cthulhu Mythos is a difficult skill. It always comes with a risk. So I'll tell you what. I'm gonna say you can absolutely roll Cthulhu Mythos for this, but you'll get this one for free, so to speak. But henceforth, every time you roll Cthulhu Mythos, and there will be opportunities to roll it again soon, especially once you start witnessing weird stuff and trying to figure out exactly what to do once you get to Castronegro, I'm going to start making it more and more difficult for you to resist using the syringe that your mentor gave you. So every time you want to learn, it is going to become more and more difficult for you to not just push that lever all the way.
Fine, I'll make a history check.
Oh, okay, fantastic. I
have plans for that syringe,
absolutely.
Jamie. Stop pushing my hand.
Far be it from me. Yes, exactly. All right. So make me that history check.
You can have 3 points of luck.
Oh my God.
Very nice.
Okay, well done.
Starting it off
Impressive.
right. 84 to 81. Have some luck.
Perfect.
Good
Oh my
way
God,
to start the
that's great.
session.
2 points of luck. Is a hard going to help me? I don't think so.
No, you're all good. Wow, what a roll. Okay, so you're basically acting out on a whim here. You don't really know what to expect. You're reading through as much as you can about the region. You're reading as much as you can specifically about stories of settlers that came to this area and seeing what kind of paths and information they, left behind. And you eventually manage to stumble upon, of all things, a map contained in the writings of a set of traders that were moving between, not Stillwater, but the towns that would become Stillwater in the this sort of area. And they would often pass through a region relatively close to Castronegro. Now, Castronegro is not on this map, but what is pretty exhaustively detailed are the canyons and crags and undulating hills and rough, jagged territory that you are going to all have a lot of difficulty getting through. You managed to find a rough map that's been sketched into some old documents in the townhouse, and you can take that out, and it will definitely help the collection of you when you try to navigate to get closer towards Castronegro. So you can write down Castronegro map and consider it added. When you make some navigate checks, this will come in handy. Mac, Grease, do the two of you have anything you'd like to jump in with?
I think just getting a read on the townsfolk and seeing what are they worried about these days, and is it lizard people, and should they be worried about lizard people?
Certainly. Make for me a psychology test.
Or is that what I did last session? No,
you were you were trying to check if the town still had lizard people in it specifically.
Yeah. That's
this is more, how is the town feeling? How is the town going? I think it's a continuation.
Exactly right.
All right, so psychology, it's a fail. You're just worried to bring up the word lizard person. Nobody really seems to be. The biggest thing that people talk about is the new train station that's being built and all kinds of stuff like that. The town has other things to focus on, quite frankly.
They only talk about
There's
the train
a
station?
celebrity in their midst.
Yes, you are right. A few of them will
station?
A few of them will be talking about Grease, Grease Gunless.
I would like to inspect the train station for hidden lizard people.
Okay, fair enough. I see where you're going. I'm not going to make you roll. You do a thorough investigation. It's just a train station. This is the inevitable march of civilization, moving further and further across the world, bringing trains and large buildings and all that kind of stuff. And this is just an example of that.
All right, I'll let it pass this time.
Okay.
But, keeping an eye on any
Excellent.
future train stations we may come across.
Grease, building your legend, or do you have anything else specifically you'd like to do?
I did a good measure of that last time. I also see that there may be a government conspiracy, so I'm happy for these people to run with that. What I'm currently interested in is acquiring some hardware. So I'm thinking I'll go down to the local store, and as I go inside, I'm looking at all the, they got the little pamphlet of all the guns and things. I'll do a quick scan under M for miniature gun. Anything that needs to be mounted.
Yep.
Just in case.
Okay. Now, let me get the details of the gun owner, the gun store owner inside Stillwater. There's a lot of gun owners at Stillwater. And in the meantime, I'd like you to roll a luck check for me, and we'll decide just how well stocked this person is.
Luck, eh? Does it look like this? Success.
Oh, okay. Not bad at all. All right. With that in mind, let's get all the details for you. Okay.
Yeah, we've had a bad run with dynamite, is the thing. So I'm not, thrilled about that.
Dynamite. It's actually... We can't use a gun, but we can throw dynamite.
I'm the best thing that's ever going to walk into this guy's store because I'm new money. I've had a little paycheck come in from my comic. I'm not particularly bright, and I'm here to be sold to. I just
Okay.
want him to. I want the story of the gun more than anything else. I want something
He
flashy.
looks at the guy's just dollar signs in his eyes.
Well, let me tell you, I have you've succeeded in a luck check. So you come in and you can see that the walls here are well stocked. There are not just heavy pieces of firepower, because there's some good firepower, some nice rifles, some good pistols, but there's more ornate things on the walls. There's larger bullets. You can get some guns custom made in this area. You can see at the back behind heavy reinforced locked cabinets, there are some larger weapons, potentially ones that you could use to some great effect inside Castronegro. The person behind the counter, his name is Joaquim, steps forward, and you can see he's absolutely, this is actually the blacksmith that you ran into in the first episode, who was sitting outside looking confused because the dazed sickness was inside Stillwater. But Joaquim looks a lot better now. He's standing, he's tall, he has a suave look in his face. You know that he will be able to sell you on any gun, and he doesn't speak a lick of English. So you step forward, and the two of you start to awkwardly try and get your messages across between English and Spanish.
I'm looking for something that's in the kind of range of artillery. If you do anything that's kind of from like a long distance, lobbing in explosives, that sort of thing.
He can work with the basics of what you're saying, and he's going to start going through his inventory. He'll basically throw two options in your direction. He can give you a high-powered rifle, something that is designed.
We
to
got
be shot
one of
from
them.
Okay. He starts to have a think. Of course, there is always the option of just scattering a lot of bullets. If you are looking for some kind of mounted gun that can fire very, very quickly, and he starts to sell you on that. But I mean, there's always that other. Nah, you wouldn't be interested.
Wait, I wouldn't be interested in what?
Oh,
Because I reckon I might be. I got a curious mind. I grab the things.
You back and forth a little bit. It's too big for you.
No, it ain't.
Too big.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. I'll put it on something. I ain't gonna carry the thing.
Ums and ahs for a while, and then eventually takes you through to the back of the store, and you go behind the counter out towards a small courtyard at the back. This is a fenced off area, and it's where Joaquim does a lot of the blacksmithing work. And you can see mounted to one side, not mounted, just sitting to one side. It's a little dusty, is, to your surprise, a old but well-maintained Spanish cannon. Sitting off to one side, large, round, with embossed carvings all along. And he walks over it, slaps it, and gives a hollow thud like he's just whacked the side of a drum, and looks towards you and says, too big?
No, that's perfect. I reckon. I mean, the place we're raiding is Spanish as well, so this will be like bringing it home. This is beautiful. Hey, what kind of discount do you get for saving the town from certain damnation? Because I reckon I apply.
Make a charm check for me.
Ka-chow.
He starts to talk brass tacks with you, and you're leaning in, you're pushing it. Are you pushing
That's
it?
funny.
You reckon that,
Your English gets better when you're trying to get money out of me.
You reckon, just consequence of the push, you reckon that you could lean on your reputation as grease gunless, and you reckon that if this goes badly, then some bad PR could possibly fire off towards Grease Gunless as a result.
No. I just looked at how much money I have, and I think we go through this for like the bulk of the afternoon. We're talking like pennies at this point. We're really getting into it. He's convinced he's about to close the sale. I dropped $20 on the table. That is all I have to my name.
He kind of looks down and looks back up at you, shakes his head.
Yeah,
it wasn't. He was thinking a little more than $20.
Yeah, I think I leave with a nice length of rope and the intention to scale a wall or something later.
We'll come back to you in a second, because as you're walking out, Joaquim is going to say, wait, and you turn back, hopefully, but we'll jump away. Griff, you're riding hard, trying to get back towards Stillwater. You knew that you were going to be riding back through the night, but it is a pretty treacherous journey. What you saw behind you really, really terrified you. And there's now rain pelting down. You can hear the cracks of thunder in the sky, but you were too scared to turn around. It takes probably about an hour or two of solid riding before you finally have the courage to peek behind you. And to your immense relief, you can see that the sky isn't still split open. It's just gray and clouded with, the black storm clouds. I want you to make either an animal handling check to try and calm your horse through this whole situation to lead you back true, or a ride check to steer the beast and control it properly and get back to Stillwater in any kind of reasonable time.
All right. I'm going to make an animal handling check in that case. And I will make that check right now.
All right.
I failed that check.
Okay. Your horse is completely freaked out by what it's seen. And for the last couple of hours, you've been really struggling to keep it under control. It keeps wanting to wander off towards the side. Can I encourage you to push this roll? If you don't, so here's your options. Basically, you're going to either have to get off and calm the horse down properly, probably rest and set up some kind of camp, which is going to be difficult in the rain, or you can try and force onward and take the risk that the horse misses a step or something like that, and you go plummeting.
Yeah, I ain't sticking around here. I'm gonna push that roll.
Okay.
I will push that roll to get a hard success.
Okay, fantastic. All right. So it's only by your sheer focus, your ability to really calm this beast down and get it to concentrate, that you're able to steer it along the winding dirt roads away until finally you begin to return towards Stillwater just as the dawn is breaking. It is, it has been a tense night for you, and your muscles don't relax. You don't feel that wave of relief when you get back. Instead, everything is knotted, and you're really having a tough time getting through it. You're going to ride into town safe and rejoin the others who will just be heading downstairs at the Sweetwater Hotel.
So they wake up and they're all like gathering. The doc's probably not waking up. He's probably still awake, if I'm not mistaken. He keeps weird hours. But they awake and the door, and they can hear the rain outside. The door flies open and there's a roll of thunder and a flash of lightning, and a huge figure stands in the doorway and comes in and takes off his hat. Goes, "Whiskey. I need whiskey." And I walk over to the bar.
Yep.
And
the barkeeper will pour some whiskey for you and slide it across to you.
And I shake as I pick up the glass. It shakes back and forth.
All right. You raise it to your lips and you take a long sip. You can see that Griff is not doing well. Everything about him is disheveled. And you also haven't seen him take a drink in a while.
I push the glass away, though.
Okay, good to know.
I turn to the others and I say, "There's some evil over there, unlike we have ever seen in our time. And I know we have seen a lot, but we ain't seen nothing yet." Oh, God.
Is it in pursuit of you? Coming in hard, or?
I suspect if it were, I would not be here at the moment.
Right.
What
Okay.
did you see, Griff?
There's a town out there, certainly. It's not that big, but old Spanish style town, and then there was it's in the middle of some badlands that look mighty hard to navigate. But in the center of the town, there's a church, and there's a statue. And the statue has a scythe raised in the air, and the scythe I don't know how to say it cut open the sky, and what was on the other side was I can't describe it. It was evil, though.
I'm gonna take my flask out. I'm going to hand it to Griff.
No.
He knows what it is.
I'll push it. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying, you know what it is, and
Yeah.
I'm not forcing it on you. I'm just saying, do you want to calm down?
No, Griff will push that away, and no. I saw it. I both want to forget it and never want to forget it.
My lizard brain, the part of me just says run, run. Yeah, I don't think that's a common expression these days.
Hey, shouldn't be.
I don't think that's gonna.
When you
seems
say
like something I wouldn't know.
the shadow
You see.
split open the sky, I mean, what'd you see? Did it move like it was animated and it headed up and used its sickle, or
No, it just looked like that. The signal reached up to the sky like it was already up there, and the sky tore out from the signal. I can't rightly explain it. It don't make no sense when I think about it. It don't make no sense when I explain it. It just something doesn't fit together. You know, it doesn't fit together. Like I know in my heart that it can't have been real. The statue didn't reach to the sky.
wait, we believe you, Griff. I mean, we've seen something, and that rain came in awful fast.
We ain't never seen nothing like this. The only time I remember even. Do you remember up in that mission with Smythe, Elijah Smythe? I think the only time I got an inkling of this kind of power was when he was trying to do whatever he was trying to do up there, and he didn't even come close.
This is a town full of people dedicated to it, and they've already had some measure of success.
Yeah. That's all I can say. All I can say.
Well, how long you reckon we have? Should we get up there?
I don't know if this is a ticking clock. I think this may be a thing that just happens there. I don't even know. I don't know if it's normal. I don't know if this is the first time it's ever happened. Maybe it happens every night.
Y'all were watching from outside the town, right? Did you see people parading in the streets, dedicating effigies or sacrificing folk? I mean, was there a sense of celebration about the whole thing, or was it just happenstance?
You're throwing back to your memories. It was so quick you didn't see much. But if you would like to try and cast your mind back properly, you can try and remember what you saw. Would you like to propose a check?
I would love to. I'd love to cast my mind back, and potentially make a.
Straight intelligence, right?
Oh yeah, that sounds accurate.
That's normally no and recalling things.
And idea and stuff. Is that all right with you, Jamie?
Yeah, that's fine by me. Make an intelligence check.
Okay. Griff is not the dumbest, but not the smartest. Okay. No, whatever it's what I had to get out of there real quick. I don't remember.
You try to think back, but you can't. It's painful to throw your mind back there. A thought occurs to you as you see the doc putting away his flask. Maybe something that made your mind a little less sharp could help here. Maybe it could help you remember some kind of detail.
No, nothing's worth that. Nothing's worth that.
Okay.
I won't look. Looking at those canyons that surround and the badlands that surround it, there may be another way into the town through a cave system or something. I don't know. It's just a hypothesis.
I mean, this whole territory is riddled with mines
riddled
and
with
such,
caves,
and
exactly.
most likely that was their pursuit at some time or another.
I found something that might help, and I'll slide the map onto the table.
Okay, perfect. You put this map forward and you slide it out, and you can see it's sketched to it with a nice hand. It's relatively detailed, and those of you who have some points in navigation can immediately spot the paths that begin to weave slowly through. There's ways into the town. There's not necessarily caves listed here, but based on the size of some of the canyons, the outcroppings, you start thinking to yourselves, that's where I'd look for one, that's where I'd look for another, that sort of thing.
Okay. Look, it's an option. Ultimately, I think the four of us going head to head with this town seems a mite idiotic.
What else can we do? We can't expect these townsfolk to take up arms, can we?
These townsfolk, no, and nor should they. You know, I think.
I mean, it's got to be us, but what we don't need to do is go head to head. I mean, we've been foolish plenty of times before, but we're close to the finish line now, and it'd be shame to muddle it right before the, checker flag. If we can get in there and have a little snoop around, sneak through caves or pretend to be people or something, we might be able to get close to Christopher, put a bullet between his eyes before he can finish whatever he's working on. Or can we just stride in? We're going to get in trouble.
Did we get a resolution of that scene with Grease and the cannon?
We haven't quite yet. We'll jump out for a second. and
Oh,
we'll
yeah, I
discuss
got a
exactly
cannon.
how
I
that-
bought it. He gave it to me for free. It's parked out there.
Yeah.
That was
well,
the resolution. You've
I would
just
like to-
decided.
You
'cause
jump
I'd like
back-
to take
you-
inventory at this time.
Okay, well, let's jump out of the tense scene as the dripping Griff
No!
sort of sits down at a table. And as you go to set out, Joachim says, wait, and kind of takes a few steps forward. Now, I offered this as a pushed roll earlier. I'm going to offer it to you again in slightly different circumstances.
Right.
Joachim steps forward and manages to kind of get out. You're Grease gunless, right?
Yeah, but I'm still interested in procuring firearms. It's more of a nickname
Yeah.
or something. It comes from a story. I'll tell. Actually, I'll give you a comic.
Yeah. I have your comic books. Thinks for a while.
You're a
I
fan,
would like
I
this
see.
cannon to be Grease Gunless's only gun. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
You make this
Kind of a signature.
trademark. You
Yeah,
make this a
I get it.
character.
Yeah.
You can take it with you.
Sure. I just. How do you benefit from this? Because you only got the one of them. You ain't exactly selling them by the truckload.
He kind of
Getting into the cannon smithing business.
He shakes his head. It's not money. It's he points upstairs. Family. My children are 3 young children who read your comic books. If they have the cannon, this is our family in your books. That's how I benefit. So, if you make a deal, I'm not going to sell it anyway. I'll make it if you put this in all your comic books, I will give it to you.
And it's my only gun. So
Absolutely.
the one.
He kind of he looked. He says, "It's Grease Gunless's only gun."
Right, I get you. So in the rest of the stories and everything, it's gonna come about that I don't wield one. But the whole thing's, when everything gets down to it, I got my trusty cat. You know what? I got a hairy, strong feller that's gonna be back here soon. I reckon he could cart this around. That'll look great in comics.
Sound like a deal? Let's fast forward back to as Grease says,
I
bought a
have purchased a cannon.
What?
A cannon.
I didn't. approve
Cast
the budget request
iron.
for that.
Some number of pounds. Great big ball goes in it. There is gunpowder involved.
Wait,
I
no,
do
no,
not
no.
understand the specifics.
Grease, you gotta slide the business expenses toward me before you do that.
Here's the thing, Mac. This is what you're gonna love. It was free.
You stole a cannon?
I didn't steal it. He gave it to me. You understand? He's a fan. You seen I've been doing this whole little comic thing, and it's really beginning to pay dividends. I mean, these people recognize me, and they love what I do. And what they want to see is they want to see me bringing this cannon to deliver justice. And they want to see that's kind of like Stillwater and this particular family leaving their mark on my history. They're getting in on it, on the ground floor, because, this is going to up and up and up.
Cannons go a ways, don't they?
I presume so. I ain't ever fired one. I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever seen one in person before. It's big.
Do you suppose that with the right, what do you call it, payload, we might not have to go to them at all?
Well, we kind of blow them up from a distance.
No, I was thinking more we smoke them out.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking that if we smoke them out and then we go in. See, a cannon, that makes a mighty good distraction.
Mm.
And if we can set that up on a hill overlooking the town and we fire it on the town, those people are going to come out real quick.
The thing is,
allowing us
I
to sneak
wasn't-
in.
I wasn't necessarily suggesting we shoot a cannonball in there, Griff. I was suggesting we shoot something a little more
We shoot Grease?
potent.
Can we do that?
Gonna have to talk more plainly, Doc, for the slow amongst us.
Yeah.
Right. So you're relatively well familiar with my pharmaceutical abilities. Quite good with chemicals when I need to be. Well, with the right
Sure.
mixture of chemicals and the right quantities. I mean, if the snake people can make a bunch of zombies with the right chemicals and the right quantities, I'm pretty sure I can do something similar.
Thing is, I mean, is that gonna survive being fired from a cannon all the way in there? I mean, it seems like we might be easier off just sneaking it in and releasing it, quiet like.
Depends on how much you want to release and where and how it needs to be imbibed.
Any of
And
y'all
if they've
familiar
got an
with?
underground water system? We could do it that way.
Yeah. Are any of
You
y'all
knock out an
particularly
entire
familiar
town.
with like history and stuff and fortifications and things?
No.
I doubt they took these things with a single cannon. You know, like I think if we wheel up with this, they're gonna be like, that is a development, but we can deal with it. We can rend open the sky. We can deal with that cannon. Like
I mean, that is somewhat why I was suggesting that we use the cannon not as a battering ram, but as a soporific.
What I would like to do with it is I would like to aim it at their big stupid statue that Griff mentioned. Fucking pot shot that bastard. See them opening the sky without a head or a sickle.
Well, look, you're going to be bringing the statue. It looks like one way or another. So I want to throw out a couple of quick things, and you can always hold it in reserve until you want to make a decision. But 3 quick things I want to give it some context. First of all, I'd like to remind you that out of our last campaigns, one of them ended when you tried to fire a piece of artillery and blew everyone up. So
How could we
if we get 2 out of 3 for artillery TPKs, I'm big on board.
I was planning on being nearby.
Yeah, it's very true. Second of all, Mac, since you fired the last TPK ending artillery piece, I'd like you to quickly give a name for this cannon. Something scrawled along the side, chiseled in. It would be in Spanish, of course, but if you can give me a dramatic name, like the...
Just
Bring up your Google Translate.
Okay, I'll give you a second. Well, I'm just going to go to the third point, right? So what I'm going to do, this cannon it's old and it's well maintained. It's a little bit arcane. It's a little bit odd. I will allow people using it to make artillery checks to fire it. Otherwise, luck checks.
You don't need to ask anyone else. I'm the one that's going to be firing it.
Okay, fantastic. Good to know.
If y'all are
Mac, do you have a
good,
name?
you can watch.
Well, I started with the Kingmaker, and that translated as El Kingmaker.
I think if you make it 2 words, it might translate.
Yeah, that's what I went with. El Rey Hasador.
El
Rey
Rey
Hasador.
El Rey
Okay,
Hasador.
fantastic. All right.
Sorry to anyone who speaks Spanish who is watching us and any of the grammatical horribleness that just occurred in your ears.
Please
Not even to
blame
mention-
Google Translate.
I like that because we can just call them Ray.
Which
Everybody loves
probably
Ray.
I think means
Anyway.
king or something.
Yeah, Ray means king.
Oh, sorry.
So, it's being set up. We'll assume that Joaquin is putting it together with the the wagon that you're going to be using, and the collection of you meanwhile are sitting in the Sweetwater saloon. And I will step back and allow you to continue planning because I totally interrupted the flow, but I needed that nickname.
Excellent.
No.
Well, I have to say, I don't much fancy ideas sending poison into a town we don't know who's there. Don't know how many
Say
innocent
poison,
people.
I said soporific. There's a difference.
Well, not to those of us not medically inclined, all right? Perhaps you'd like to
One
explain.
of them kills you, the other one knocks you out.
Yeah, I was a little bit. I do not know what soporific means, and I was having a little trouble keeping up with you.
It's a thing that sticks you to sleep.
Well,
Yeah, that sounds mighty effective.
What if the same stuff that puts Griff to sleep does a little bit more to a little tot?
I'm sorry, what?
Is it not the case that something that's going to put Griff to sleep, for example, is going to do a bit more damage to a rugrat?
I I mean, it kind of depends.
We
on
don't
how-
know exactly who lives up there, and I don't want to be hurting no one innocent.
Mac, as someone who went up there, I don't think there are any innocent people up there.
Well, there was a town up there, and you have heard stories of refugees coming in the past. If no one is innocent up there, then you'd be facing an army, and this is a foregone conclusion.
Okay.
Uh,
I still personally am quite a fan of the Doc's idea.
knocks a lot of people out of our way.
I mean,
And
just
doesn't stop us shooting it at this.
running the
Even-
plot out. I mean, Doc, what kind of supplies are we looking at to even pull this off? We need some way to get it in there. I mean, whether we find a water supply or sneak in there and explode it ourselves. If it's going to survive the cannon, I reckon it's going to need a delivery packet or something. And then what's in it? I mean, we can raid Stillwater for as much as they got, but I don't know if they'll have enough to knock out a whole town.
I don't see the harm in mixing it up, bringing it along, but
I agree. I reckon if we
don't-
got it, we'll use it.
I don't reckon it's a safe bet for a first assault. That's all I'm saying.
Well, what I was thinking is yeah, I reckon, yeah.
But I just wonder,
I'm
what
quite a
can we
fan of
even
the
get?
idea.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. What would we hypothetically be able to acquire? Then we can figure out what we want to do with it. If we have a magic sleeping potion, we'll, put it to the test. Can we have it? What do we reckon we can actually get? Because we got a cannon.
So synthesizing something like that, some kind of grand sporific device, can I get you to make for me a pharmacy check, please, Doc?
All right. I think while the Doc works on that, I've been riding all day and all night, so I'm gonna go have a nap
Nope.
upstairs.
Nope.
Okay, I'm not.
Nope. Let's get a plan. Because, I mean, ain't there a transporters wheeling around and going right now or something?
I would prefer to have a little.
Yeah,
nap.
I appreciate it, but it just seems we got to get this hammered out.
Okay.
Strike me as the kind of man who can sleep in a saddle, Griff.
I would like to push this, but I would like to suggest a consequence that only you know about, Jamie.
Okay, fantastic. Why
Oh,
don't you send me the consequence, and let me, because I also have something in mind.
Griff
that I-
explodes.
I'm hoping we're on the same page. Please talk amongst yourselves.
Oh boy, I hope there ain't many consequences of this pharmaceutical device.
What an odd thing to say.
Griff, you mentioned, I mean, you were being a silly goose when you were saying fire me out of a cannon, right? That ain't achievable?
Yeah, that was a joke.
Right.
We ain't doing that. We
Okay,
can't
I
be
just
doing that.
just felt like I should ask. I'd feel silly if I didn't. What if we got a pole or something down it so it runs out the end of the barrel, and then I can hold on to that, and then the whole thing gets propelled like a ballista?
Oh, never mind. I am convinced. Let's do it.
Oh, and that was easy. Okay, well, I mean, now we got another thing in the cards.
Okay, yeah. Push this roll.
Do we want to push it in secret, or is it not relevant?
You know what? No, I think it for dramatic irony's sake. Let's have it push.
We know that it succeeds or fails.
Oh, fucking hell, that was pretty fucking good.
With an extreme success.
I'm still gonna say that the thing that I sent you is still true.
Okay.
It's just that it works in my favor instead of
Yep.
accidentally turning an entire township into whatever that was gonna be.
Exactly. Whatever that was going to be. Whatever that was going to be.
Whatever we brief.
We'll come back to that. But so you start to think, look, you're going to have to make a large device, a delivery via cannon, or maybe it's doable. It's doable. You need a lot of ingredients. And look, there's two ways you do this. There's the mundane way, which really does mean, okay, you're going to have to send people to sneak in. You're going to have to get them to plant this thing. You're going to have to hope that it affects a lot of people. It won't affect everybody. It'll be a powerful attempt, but you'll still have to do a lot of the heavy lifting yourself. Or you can go for more of the weird science angle. The weird science angle, you need some weird ingredients. And it occurs to you that you are still near the first serpent person base that you went into, and it wasn't entirely destroyed. You're pretty sure that if you delve into the depths of the old mountain up at Knife Cuts Mesa, you might be able to find enough serpent person tech and leftover bits to try and synthesize something that will work more like you fire the cannon into the sky and it disperses down, and a collection of you come in
Fireworks.
with improvised gas masks and you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
The technology
you're-
works.
You're going to have to convince the others, not me.
I'm convinced. I mean, hey, I just want to know that we got the actual ability to do it before we run too far down the hypothesis.
Always a good call.
I mean, yeah, there's the mundane methodology, and then, well, and I recount that we are close. There's a solid chance there might be some technology inside that we could use for our own benefit. Obviously, I'm not suggesting we turn everyone into snake people, but their technology was used to disperse a very small amount of active ingredient across a large area. So,
Sure.
I agree. I think it's worth a go.
What will whatever you're dispersing do?
ideally, it'll knock him out.
Right. So, I mean, to speak to Mac's concerns, could we just dial it down to the minimum? Give everyone a bit of a daze and confused? Remember when we first came into Stillwater? I asked that fella for milk and he's just pouring shit everywhere?
That's
We can get
sort
that
of
kind
the
of a thing?
aim. Yeah, the reason I'm suggesting we go and look at the serpent person technology rather than using mundane methods is using mundane methods, we'd have to get a lot of the stuff, and I can't guarantee it's going to work on everyone. I can't guarantee it's going to work with the same effectiveness in everyone,
reckon
whereas
that's a plan.
snake people seem to have some kind of ability to use a very small amount of active substance and spread it over a large area, affecting everyone kind of equally. Children didn't seem to be any worsely affected than adults, so I'm hoping there's something in there that might help, but I mean, I understand it's not the most palatable solution.
Oh, what?
Something does tickle me about using the weapons of our enemies against some more enemies. Do we think anything survived? I mean, we getting out of there, it was coming down on top of us, weren't it?
I'm not bringing this up with the three of y'all because I think I can go in there alone, put it that way.
We can clear it with a cannon. We will fire it at the rock.
I would suggest maybe not using a cannon in a potentially still active volcano.
Damn it.
Just a thought.
Wait, is this one a volcano as well?
I don't think this one was a volcano. The
I
other
think
one.
they were
was.
all volcanoes. It's kind of wild. Rumbling happened. It was really goddamn hot.
Well, in that case, we might be able to get in through the top. Remember that, Griff? The way we didn't go?
Oh shoot! That's actually a real good idea, Griff.
Or, now I got a better idea. I'm full of them today. We took dynamite down there. We clear out Castro Negro and Stillwater. No? All right, okay. We'll pocket that one. Man, New Mexico's got
is a
more
moment.
volcanoes than I knew about.
There is a moment where Joseph's like, could solve
No.
the problem. Maybe not today.
All right.
All right. Well, if we've got the time, and if Griff
No,
needs
we don't. And this
time to
place has been
rest.
around for a while, so
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's gonna
thinking
be
as well. I
around
mean,
for a while more.
Is it on the way?
It's on the way. You had to go through Knife Cuts Mesa, Griff, to get to Castro Negro. It's a detour. You'd have to stray off the path a little bit, but no,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
basically
gonna
on the
need
way.
a place to do the synthesizing. If their lab's still intact, I can use that. But if it ain't, I'm gonna need to set up something.
All right. Well,
not
suppose we set
spending.
out, make for the volcano, and
I agree.
then depending on what we find there, we can decide there whether we come back to town or forge ahead.
Mm-hmm. But Grease is right. If this can make everyone in that town like they were in Stillwater when we got there, that's damn near perfect. That's like exactly what we need.
It's a gift horse we can't look in the mouth.
Exactly. Well
Well,
put, Marshall.
I mean, it's perfect right up until they start coming back from the dead.
Let's try not to kill any of them. Hey.
All right. That sounds like a plan. I'm going to go
Okay.
hitch up my cannon.
So
Oh,
the collection
what?
of you roll out of Stillwater later that afternoon. You have a wagon with your horses set up in front of it. You have a cannon, which you've locked in place with a couple of wedges over the back. Joaquin was sad to see it go, but reminded you, I want the comic books coming out soon. They better be good.
Is the cannon pointing? I want the cannon pointing directly at the back of the wagon.
So you can.
Yeah, so if we ever get
so that,
chased-
we can chase. If we're ever in a chase, we can. Why have we had a wagon the whole time? It feels really us.
How many cannonballs are you throwing in for this?
He'll throw in, say, 5.
5. It's more than I'm
Right,
going to
good
know what to
means.
do with.
It's an investment.
Good. Very good.
Can I get a quick survey of everyone's artillery skill? Just out of curiosity. No.
I decline to answer.
I suspect we were making hard luck checks.
Oh boy.
How
Yep.
hard can it be? It's a great
That
big.
is
I
a-
mean, a smaller pistol's got a way littler aiming thing. I mean, this one's dirty great. Seeing the size of these cannonballs it's going to be firing, you can't miss.
What's base skill for artillery?
Base skill for artillery is 0-1.
I decline to
Is
answer.
it a firearm skill?
It is a firearm skill.
Great. I've got 21 then, right?
Oh,
'Cause I've got 90.
fantastic. Yeah,
'Cause I've got
okay.
90 in,
Yeah, no,
rifle.
absolutely.
You ain't rolling on this.
And I
You ain't
feel like,
touching my cannon.
I feel like the doc should be able to help with the chemistry portion of it. And,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like pouring black powder in there and putting the right amount in and stuff. That seems like
Absolutely. I'd take a hard chemistry test.
I don't have chemistry or pharmacy.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, but I am very intelligent.
That
I
is
could
true.
just do a base intelligence roll and see how far we get. Also,
With an intelligence roll, you can tell that any of you getting near that cannon is a bad idea, and you should get it out of the.
You
freaking
keep that to
wagon.
yourself.
This cannon is the new bathtub.
I load it up as we go as well. It's going to have black powder in it for most of the
I'm
travel.
pretty sure I have an idea of how we could launch something if we don't use cannonballs. And we, depending on what we find in the mountain, of course.
So they were launched with fireworks last time.
Mhm.
They did, which would be ideal if we could find something similar. And then we don't
And
need
they
to
were
use them.
dicking around with
But if
balloons.
we do need to use the cannon, I'm thinking essentially plugging it and putting whatever it is in some kind of like bladder or something, and then having the plug push it out and it going. That should do the trick.
I'm not sure
Rather than
that's
putting a
gonna
cannonball
explode
behind
right
it
in
and
front
the
of it.
cannonball impacting and splitting.
Of
Whatever we
course, the risk of plugging a cannon
There's
is
no
that
way
it
this
blows
works.
up.
I mean, technically, you plug a cannon with a cannonball.
Yeah, but they're
It's
designed to
do,
go the
you
hell
do.
that way, and they're
Like,
solid as hell.
the exact same process.
Mm.
It's just with something that isn't a cannonball or something in front of a cannonball.
Exactly.
It's flat.
In theory, it's foolproof. Anyway,
Very good with foolproof theory, old Joseph.
you'll be fine. Anyway, so so the collection of you roll out of Stillwater, leaving at last the town behind you and making your way towards Knife Cut Mesa. Yes, Griff.
I would like to be having a snooze in the back of the wagon.
Okay. Yeah, you're actually leaning against the cannon
Yeah.
as you go. It's you have a sense that you'll never be back here, which I think pleases you all as you leave Stillwater behind, probably for good. Mac, there might be a little grimace of, this is your last hurrah. This is your last odd anticipated trip somewhere. And you find yourself sitting at the front, actually steering the horses, enjoying it ever so slightly. You make along the pathway towards through Knife Cuts Mesa for quite a while. Then after a while, you're going to have to actually break off and move sideways and head into the grass and shrubs towards the actual mountain entrance. Can I get somebody to please make a navigate check for me for you to find a proper and effective entrance?
I
Marshall?
think I can do that. Let's find out. As soon as I find navigate, there it is. Good talk. Success.
Okay, absolutely easy. So you start wandering through, and you can pretty quickly track down one of the side entrances that you came through when you left. These pathways that take you out at various points for the mountain. But as you start going further and further towards the area that you know will lead you in, you can see that there's a small camp set out right outside it. worries you for a second. There's quite a few tents. You get close enough to realize that this is Taza's band. The Chiricahua Apache fellow who was leading his people through this area, and they seem to have come back and set up, and looks like they're venturing in and out of the mountain.
Oh. All right, let's wave him down.
All right. Taza will come back towards a collection of you, pleased, and sort of said, "It's good to see you all again. There is one less of you."
Yep. It's hard to stick together out here, but we do the best we can.
Well, we do the same. You've returned to the mountain.
Yeah, I reckon we might have left some things in there that could help us in our travels. You been in and out as well?
Yes, we've been taking everything. We too think that there could be useful things there, and we've put a claim to them. They're ours.
What exactly have you dug up, if you don't mind me asking, as friends?
We found bits and pieces, laboratory equipment, abominational, pieces of abomination, dark things. We've burnt most of it. This horrible thought comes over your mind, Doc. You know that there are other archives, other discs, these things that you have spent so long with that you know have so much knowledge. If they destroy one of those, that's a massive loss. Can I get you to please make for me a power check just to avoid yourself kind of... Actually, you can do psychology as well if you'd rather, to avoid giving away your kind of panic for a second. Fast talk, I'd also accept. Okay, your face remains blank.
I also think I momentarily recall that these things are made of fucking metal. They're pretty hard to burn.
Yep, they would be hard to burn, but you don't know what kind of delicate interior workings they have. You know that you read them with a collection of strange lenses. You know, their heat distortion, it's a risk. You haven't tested it because you don't want to destroy these things. We've claimed most of what's inside, but if you're putting it to good use and if you're willing to trade, we can offer you tools.
Yeah, as it happens, we figured there might be something in there we can use to stop some other bad folks. I don't know if you heard much of what's going on over in name of place.
Castronegro.
Castronegro.
When you say Castronegro, Taz's face falls and he spits on the ground and he looks up and he says, "I know Castronegro. I know the people in there. They're not good folks there."
No, they're not. That's why we're hoping to put a stop to whatever it is they're doing. We don't think it's anything good. And there might be something in this here mountain that can help us do it.
What do you plan to do? You plan to ride in and kill everyone, or you plan to go in and make an arrest and leave the town?
Well, what would you counsel?
He seems to appreciate you asking. And he leans in and he says, I would counsel that you show no mercy to those people. It's a dark business, what they do. And there are some innocents in there. I don't pretend that everyone in that town is evil, but enough of them are. I counsel that you go in and that you kill as many of them as you can. I encourage you to kill all of them. And I would say, if you promise me that you will shed blood, you will give revenge for what they've done to everybody for so long, then I can give you some of what we found.
That's some harsh justice, sir.
I know that as a marshal, it might not be your way, and I respect your decision if you decide otherwise.
Well, fact is, we're going to put a stop to whatever it is they're doing that's hurting people. And that I can promise you.
Can you make me a persuade check? This is just going to be your ability to come across as, let me have this. I don't want to bring your frontier justice into it. 98. 98 is a fumble.
Cheeky little fumble there.
That's a small one.
That is a fumble. He looks you up and down, Marshall, and he kind of just scoffs and says, "Bring justice, like you brought justice to all the other towns that you visited. I've heard stories of what you've done, and I've heard you've left other towns in ruins. Why should this one be any different?
May I step forward?
Sure.
And asking Mac as well.
Please do.
Taza turns to you. Yeah.
If you want all of them gone, I can promise you that in exchange for the information.
Taza nods and says, "And this is your." It looks at the collection of you. It glances across. I think Grease. He's going to look towards you. Grease, you are the youngest of the group, and he seems
the
to take
prettiest.
some kind of. Actually, no. I think he'll turn to.
All right,
Griff,
rude.
Griff is the prettiest.
Yeah,
Turn
he's
to
got
Griff.
me there.
Turn to Griff and say, "This doctor, he travels with you. Is he honest?"
I ain't never known him to lie.
Okay. And you would not stop him from fulfilling this promise?
You know, killing all of them, that's a mighty harsh judgment, sir. What if we just killed, and I have used this expression a lot, the head of the snake? We know who's in charge. What if we promise that we won't arrest him, but we will kill him?
I think that with the collection of you all working together here, desperately trying, it was a fumble.
Oh
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Look, I think Taza thinks for a long while and then says, there is only so much that conversation will achieve here. You give me an ironclad promise that you'll make those streets run red, that you will honestly and determinedly go in with an intent to punish those people, then I will give you what you need. Otherwise, we have nothing more to discuss.
I mean, punishing ain't the problem. It's the murdering we got an issue with.
It is the punishment that I think is most worthwhile here.
Hey, alternate pitch. Take a look at this puppy. This is a cannon. It is very large. Would you like it?
Would you like to be the ones dispensing justice?
Taza, look,
we're at a, we ain't gonna let him run in there and kill everyone, right, Mac? I mean, that's the issue here. It ain't who's doing it; it's that it ain't being done. We're gonna find the head. We're gonna cut the shit out of that, and we ain't gonna kill innocents.
I would agree with you, Doctor. You seem like you are honest, and I will make this pact with you. But your companions seem like they will not allow this to happen. And unless I can have agreement from all of you,
I'm with Grace. The last time I made a promise that I would kill someone, it did not turn out well. I plan to make no such promises again. I turn to Mac. I go, Mac, if you think we should arrest the guy, I reckon we should arrest him.
Well, I can't say for sure that'll be the right course of action. Can't say for sure anything right now. And that's why I can't promise anything. It's not in my code to gun someone down the street who I don't know had done wrong. So justice will be done, sir, but I can't promise what you're asking.
It seems that we've reached a decision then. I wish you luck, and I sincerely hope that you can bring some kind of justice to Castanegro. Doctor, would you speak with me for a moment? There are some in our camp that could use your advice.
Of course, anything to help.
Taza is going to take you only a few steps away, just enough to be out of earshot, almost pointedly, and then lean in towards you and say, I will give you access to what we have found if you promise yourself to kill as many as you can.
What I plan to do is to knock the town out. I want to put them all in a state of torpor or something similar. And if you would like to take that opportunity to slit as many of their throats as you like, I will let you do that. All I want to do is knock them out.
This is not the pact I'm offering.
Do you want blood or do you want death?
Both, preferably.
I don't think I can give you blood without the rest knowing about it, but I can give you death without them knowing about it.
Then come down to the camp. If you make this promise, you can take from what we have.
Done.
So you'll be led down to the camp. You can I get you to make a psychology test for me very quickly, Doc? And can I get anybody? You can all see what happened there. It was almost pointed.
We look at him and we go, "What the fuck?"
And then the doc comes back with arms full of supplies and goes, I convinced them. And we go, cool.
No. I am going to offer I am also going to say to them, I will also offer you medical assistance.
I think the other one is just, I think while the doc's got, I think Grease was the other guy. So do we have a problem with the doc being like real keen on killing a shitload of people? And also, wasn't Taza, ain't he changed his tune? He was a lovely fella. I mean, there's just, do we reckon there's something going on here? Lizards? When in doubt.
I don't think everything is necessarily lizards. I think sometimes people are just complex, and the want for vengeance can be mighty overwhelming.
But it ain't even direct vengeance. He didn't list a grievance. He didn't say, he got my kid. That was lizards doing that shit. I mean, he don't have nothing direct against him.
Can we see evidence that they're actually destroying this stuff?
You'd have to go down into the camp. It'd be you'd have to walk into the camp properly. At this stage, you're very much being sort of respectful visitors. You get your binoculars out.
We sort of haven't been invited down.
I could get my cannon out.
No, you haven't.
That's a good point. Sure is interesting.
I reckon they're lizards.
Coming back and digging all this stuff up.
I mean, Jen. And also, I mean,
Right.
The doc's been, I get we've been through a lot and everything, but I mean, they've always been prone to, we got to help people and this and that. And they're volunteering and just let us gut the place. Women, children, the whole bit. That just don't seem right.
Maybe the doc's lying, but like I said, I ain't never known the doc to lie explicitly. I don't remember.
All right, well.
It is something worth
I ain't
keeping
good
an
at
eye
reading
on.
people, so if someone else can keep a look on them, might be worth it.
All right.
I ain't much better than you, Grace.
You're led down into the camp proper, Doc. You succeed on your psychology test, and you will notice. So Taza takes you first of all down to, basically, there's a small tent they've put to one side where they are sorting things that they have taken out. It does appear that they are destroying some of them. It does appear that they are keeping several of them, and they are putting others into sort of large sacks to some unknown purpose. Taza is going to allow you to look through them. And you notice with the psychology test that a couple of people come to Taza and ask what's going on. And there's a very similar conversation to what you witnessed further up, where Taza seems to be, I've made this pact, and they're kind of like, why? They're arguing the details. They seem to, you hear the words Castra Negra thrown around a lot. But there seems to be some kind of tension. You can start taking a look through the supplies that they've pulled out. I'm going to get you to make a pharmacy test. All right. Okay. Immediately you start, more of this. You even find some of they're broken, but the original fireworks, and you're able to scrape out bits of that and sort of the putty and all the various chemical compounds. Before long, into your doctor's bag, which it actually gets a bit messy, the amount that you put in. You've gathered a whole medley.
Got a lot of vials and things that I can
Ziploc
fill
bags.
with stuff.
Tupperware.
Exactly. You have you've got a pocket knife. You got a Bible. No, I'm kidding. You step back through. Taza.
Sorry. There was one thing I was specifically looking for to see if there was something that was even remotely intact. A viewing lens.
A viewing lens. Okay. Make a luck check.
Okay.
Is that for small objects or far away objects?
There absolutely is a viewing lens. around, and you can pick one of those up and
I think
take
there
it
was one
for
for
take
The
it
one
home.
tomes,
that-
the tablets.
you know
Yeah,
the one
it's like a set of fragmented like
Oh.
discs that all fly in. You slide it into your bag.
Neat.
Have they found any more of the discs?
Not that you can see immediately, no.
That actually is kind of helpful. It means that Joseph's going to be like, okay, I can leave now. With this
Okay, yeah, you're
hiding."
not caught.
No,
forced
I
to-
don't have to be like, when I have everything I need, I will turn around to Taza and just say, does anyone in your camp need medical attention at all? I know it's rough out here, and I'll do my best to help.
Taza shakes his head and he steps forward and he says, "We have been wandering for so long now, forced out of everywhere that we try to find and make a home again. And the people that force us out, they send us back past Castro Negro, and each time the people there, they prey on us. They take the weak, they take the stragglers. There are people in there that are good. I'm sure of it. There are people in there trapped by circumstance, but they're guilty enough. They're guilty enough that they haven't risen up. They're guilty enough that they haven't fled. What do you hold dear? I want you to swear on something that is important to you, something you won't break."
I swear on my mind and everything I've learned.
Okay. Then, if you should break this promise, and if you should let the people of that town live, then may you forget everything that you came to learn, and may you spend the rest of your days struggling for the fragments of knowledge that you once commanded, and forever having a secret just out of your grasp.
I will make you a promise on my knowledge and everything I've learned to do my utmost to take out as many of those people as I can. I cannot promise you totality, but I can promise you everything under my control.
I understand, and that satisfies me. He gestures away. You step out and leave, and as you go, other people are sort of darting in towards Taza and talking to him, and you leave the area behind. You come up to the top of the small ridge where you can see your companions waiting. Doc clearly comes back with more supplies. This is sort of it's a foregone.
Like how much stuff did I take?
Roll a disguise check.
Okay. I mean, my bag is always pretty full of shit.
There's a lot here. Also, the context clues are pretty, but it would be a disguise skill check.
Nope.
Yeah,
Oh,
unfortunately.
That's a
really bad.
fumble.
So very close to
That's
it.
a fumble.
That is a
It
fumble.
real obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, I was more asking. I
No,
wasn't
I
trying to
don't
hide
worry.
it up.
The point is that it's known. It is known that you have more supplies.
In that case, so you managed to talk him round, did you?
Yeah, I managed to speak to him.
What did you promise him?
Promised to do everything in my power to do right by him and his.
And is
That
that
ain't-
mean killing people, like a lot of them?
It
'Cause that
doesn't
seemed to
mean
be what he
spilling
wanted.
blood. It don't mean spilling any blood, no.
All right then.
Can I make a psychology test?
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
can
good
make a
at it,
psychology
but
test.
I'm
Go ahead.
I'm suspicious as all hell.
Do
Alrighty.
you want a roll in return, or is this just see what happens?
This is more on. I don't think that we'll no roll in return for now. I think that we'll have a straight roll from of psychology.
You can have 2 points.
2 points of luck.
Oh my goodness.
So you are peering as best you can, and you just have no way of reading Doc. He is a blank slate when he wants to be. He moves forward and he begins to set up his things, but then you notice I'm gonna have to get you to jump in, Art, and give me some detail here. But is there something that the Doc does when he's about to do bloody work or something? Does he like roll up his sleeves a certain amount, or put back his glasses just so to avoid the splat? There is some tick, some give, some poker players tell that says the storm is coming.
I think it's just that he grits his teeth. Like there's just a slight in the jaw where he's like, I'm just gonna be on. It's like It's the momentary flinch before he goes full tunnel vision when he's got to amputate a limb or like slice someone open while they're still awake. Like he knows it's unpleasant and he knows he's got to do it because otherwise that person is going to die. And I think if it helps, what's going through Joseph's mind right now is I am excising something from humanity that will stop humanity dying.
Just like cutting off a limb that's gone gangrenous. You have your suspicions, Grease. You have them confirmed almost by that slight movement.
Oh, I reckon they're confirmed.
Do you want to bring something up, or will you bide your time?
Yeah, I go, all right, Doc, same straight. Let's get moving.
All right, and the collection of you will bound up into the wagon and get riding. And within a couple of hours, as the rain gets heavier and heavier, and the wagon starts to jitter and shudder, and you find it almost impossible to sleep, Grease, you finally arrive at the crags overlooking the faint shadow of Castronegro in the distance. And we will jump to break there. We'll be back in 10 minutes, everybody, and get into the town. See you soon. Welcome back, everybody, to the Stream of Chaos. The wagon is approaching the craggy rocks at the outskirts of Castronegro. Inside it is a giant Spanish cannon, the Kingmaker, which I have forgotten I've forgotten the name of it in Spanish.
Right.
You told me you wrote it down. You're lying, bastard.
I didn't write it down. I'm so sorry. Surrounding it are, of course, our 4 investigators prepared to venture into the town, prepared to catch Christopher, prepared to put a stop to all of the rumored horrors that Castronegro supposedly holds. Some prepared more than others. Doc, you have with you poison. You have a lot of it, or at least the ingredients with which to make poison. That poison could accomplish a lot of effects. It could daze people. It could knock people out. It could kill people. It could kill people horribly. Doc's been through a lot in these past months. Doc's seen a lot. Doc has made bargains with strange alien beings. Doc's put himself out there. How's Doc feeling right now? Right.
I think I'm not thinking too far ahead. I have a soporific to make, which is still, as far as I'm concerned, the plan, at least the major one. So that's where my focus is. I'm making a sleeping drug.
On the road, it's a little hard to get the work going. So once you've stopped where Castronegro is in the distance, you've pulled out the flats at the side of the wagon to create a small dry area beneath the pouring rain, and you've set up your little desk. The rest of you are glancing around and occasionally looking towards Doc, who has that single-minded tunnel vision mentality about them. The same one that you've seen throughout the weeks you've been traveling with him. Same one that you saw when he was inside the quarantine camp. The same one that you've seen when he's been in his room for so long. The collection
is
of
Doc working on the Doc? You're working on the thing right now, right? As we speak. Okay. In that case, I'd like to walk over and have a chat to him if I can.
Please. So Mac and Grease, while the two of you are working away and going through things, you start to head forward. Griff, and you can see the Doc is getting their effects together, playing with all kinds of various chemicals. What would you like to say?
Hey, Doc. How you doing there?
A little busy, but still trying to work out exactly how all these things combine. Making sure we don't go overboard or anything like that.
Yeah, that would be not good. Look, Dog, you once talked to me after my most embarrassing moment, most shameful moment.
Yeah, I did.
And I kind of wanted to come talk to you and just make sure you're not. What are you thinking? Are you okay?
Griff, I'm not thinking much.
But
I came to speak to you. Griff, I'm a doctor. Do you understand what that means?
it means you take care of people, make them better, right?
No, it don't. It means I do horrible, horrible things to people. I put them in a huge amount of pain. I take off limbs, and then I seal it with fire and ash. I do awful things to people, and do you know why I do those things?
Why?
So that person can keep living. Being a doctor ain't helping people just on its own. I make terrible decisions all the time. All the time. Worse than the decisions Mac has to make. All he has to do is follow the law. When I see someone like Hank Hatterati, I need to look at him and say, can he be saved? And if the answer is yes, I have to do it. Mac looks at a man and goes, can he be strung up? Yes, he can. And that's the end of it. The reason the doctors take limbs off people is because if you leave a gangrenous limb on a person, that person will die.
I understand I think I understand what you're trying to say, but I think you're looking at the big picture and kind of ignoring the small. You know, society ain't a person, it's made up of people. You can't kill a person and make society better. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's all right, Griff. I get what you're saying. Thing is, I found some of those people's effects in the town. Found robes and sickles and recordings of maybe some of what was going on. We've seen people, your fella, Grease's fella. When we saw them, they weren't people anymore. They were diseases that needed to be excised. My own mentor looked too hard in the wrong places and had to be excised. Do you think I enjoyed asking you to do what you did? Do you think any of those decisions are easy? The limb cannot be saved. If we leave this alone, it's not a society that's dying, Griff. It's humanity. And I don't want that on my soul. And I don't think you do either.
Dog. But can we agree that the limb that needs removing ain't the town, it's Christopher? Could we agree on that, maybe?
I will agree that it's not everyone in the town, and I don't want everyone in the town hurt. But it ain't just Christopher. It's whatever posse of people he's got around him. It's whoever supports those people. It's a chain all the way down. And maybe it ain't some children, and maybe it ain't some women, and maybe it ain't some men. But if you don't get all of that gangrenous limb off, you just get to go through the whole process again with a part that's closer to their heart, and they're more likely to die.
I gesture to the concoction that the doc is making, and I say, I think I know the answer to this, but my guess is that ain't gonna. I was gonna ask you to promise me that ain't gonna hurt the folk of the town. It ain't gonna kill them. But I think I know the answer to that already. I don't need you to promise me that. I know that's just gonna put them all to sleep, like you said.
I can promise you it ain't gonna hurt him. No.
That's good enough for me.
Griff, thank you.
No, Doc, it is I who should be thanking you. You sacrificed a lot. Not just here, not just now, but you and your folk. I didn't understand till you just rightly explained it to me. And thank you.
You take a few steps away and leave the doc to his work. Doc, as you turn back to the concoction that you're brewing, the details of which you've told me, you look down and you can, all your lenses and various bits are spaced out. You catch for a second a look at your own reflection.
Mm-hmm.
You said you were feeling numb. You've been feeling an increased numbness for a while now, ever since you delved into the deeps of that mine, ever since you went so far, and ever since you reached out and you took something back with you, and you can feel that numbness, that thing that came back. It's spreading, and it seems to be growing bigger and bigger as you go. You catch a look at your own reflection, and for a split second, you almost feel like you can see a faint black creep coming over the side of your eye, drifting along the veins. But you blink a few times and it fades, and your eyes are maybe a little bloodshot, but it's gone. The numbness kind of feels good. You are a hardened person. You know, you've done a lot. You've seen a lot of dark things. I'd like to ask you a question. You've already got a trait that says that you are able to resist the penalties of seeing horrible things. With this thing spreading, you could resist the sanity penalties of seeing a lot more. You could immunize yourself, inoculate against so much horror and fear that's to come if you just let it spread a little bit further. As you continue your work, your mind is drifting to the people in the town and what's going to happen to them one way or another. And I'm not suggesting that you've made a decision or the nature of your concoction, but your mind is drifting towards the people in the town. Are you thinking about them? Are you thinking about their lives? Are you thinking about what they might be like? Or are you allowing the numbness and the focus, the tunnel vision to take over?
I don't know. I think it's a mixture of both, because Doc cares about people. He wants people to be well when it's possible, and when it isn't, he wants to make sure that they move on to wherever they're going as peacefully and as painlessly as possible. He's done a lot of bedside goodbyes in his time. Palliative care, if you will, although I don't think it was called that then. So I think he does think about not the people, like not Christopher, not his subordinates, but I think he does think about possibility that there are children there. There are, you know, families potentially. But I also think if I remember correctly, when something was given to Joseph, something was taken away, which means that he thinks about these people and he honors them with his thoughts about what their lives are like and feels no guilt about what he intends to do.
Absolutely. Can I get you to make for me a power test?
Right. Yes. I don't think this is going to end well, but we'll see.
Okay. For hard success, when you think of those people, you manage to keep them in your mind, and you manage to keep them in your mind in a positive sense. And as much as this thing that was taken away seems to be spreading, seems to be growing its own little gangrenous influence, it doesn't overwhelm you. Not yet. Not for now. And you continue with your work. you've told me what you're building, and it's going to take you a couple of hours to do. If you'd like to adjust what you're building, send me a message, but we'll keep things secret for now for dramatic irony's sake, because I think that it is best if the other 3 players don't know exactly what it is you're putting together. You're the chemist after all. They're just going to have to trust you if they can. Grease, Mac, you've seen this quiet conversation between Griff and the doc. Have the two of you had your own conversation? Have the two of you made your own preparations? You can see the looming threat of the town of Castronegro, your enemy, close, but, there might be another enemy even closer. What are the two of you doing?
Hey, Mac. How you doing?
Oh, just thinking.
It's the weather for it. Heavy
Constant
rain and moping.
pounding down.
Yeah.
It's kind of atmospheric, given, the forthcoming conflict and all.
So what's your read on the dock so far?
Well, I wanted to ask you the same. I reckon they're fixing to do something that either they're going to regret or that they should regret.
I'm thinking the same. Well, the fact is, if someone's breaking the law, we gotta stop them. But I don't think the dock's gonna be our highest priority when we get down to it.
Here's my concern is what you said about breaking the law is right and needs to be dealt with, but I don't think we can do this without the dock. We can't get in there, we can't drug them or whatever the plan is, and I reckon, the whole plan is still sound. It's just what happens after, or if there's any escalation that's an issue. I reckon there's a good chance we ought to kill a lot of these people, but we just need to go in there without the intent to do so, and we'll judge them for their actions rather than our suspicions, right?
That's not quite enough, though, to go in with the intent of hurting some innocents. Fact is, if we think that they're going to get hurt through our inaction, that's not going to weigh lightly on my conscience. And if you're as good a kid I think you are, I don't think it's going to weigh lightly on yours.
We've all made mistakes, Mac. And I don't think there's anyone here that's perfect. The dock needs to
you
be...
You probably made a lot fewer mistakes than the rest of us.
The dock needs to be stopped
that way
before they do something really bad. But we need them to get through this. I don't think we should preempt anything. What I think is you and I should be ready to jump in and stop them as soon as they look like they're going to try.
I think the same. Much as I had to say it, we're going into this pretty reactionary.
While we're judging, I made a mistake not long ago when we were up at the ranch, and I'm sort of rumbling on it and figuring out, what's going to happen for it. Because, ever since you gave me the badge, I've liked being on this side of the law and doing good and everything, and I think I still outweigh it on good, but I shot someone. I'm pretty sure I killed him. And I don't reckon... they came at me, but... No, I could justify it. I think that's the problem. I don't want to. I think it was wrong, and I regret that. And I can't help but think that if one death is doing that to me, what's that going to do to Doc? How can they, keep walking with all that weight on their shoulders?
People are built different. If Doc's built different to you, then that weight can be borne differently, maybe better. You say you don't know if you can justify it. Well, at the end of the day, what's carried around by you is what you can justify to yourself. not no one else. And I appreciate you telling me. But it weighs on your head, not anyone else's. You think you're still worthy to wear that badge? I asked you before because it's a question that only you can answer.
Have you ever like made a really big mistake while you were doing something with the badge on? Something lawful that went wrong?
Yeah, I reckon I have. But when you've been around long as I have, you get pretty good at bearing it in the past. 'Cause that's all you can do.
That's kind of it, though, and that's kind of my worry, is that I don't have an issue justifying it, and I don't think I'd have an issue bearing it either, but I don't really want to, you know? I want to feel bad. I want to regret doing that. You know? I don't want to be numb.
I see what you're saying, but regret doesn't bring anyone back from the dead. Never has, never will. Look, I'm not so good at all this philosophy stuff. I'll be honest with you. All I can do is keep moving forward. That's all I've been doing all my life. Maybe everything's about to catch up on me up in that hill.
All right, well, I'll keep an eye on Doc, and I reckon Griff's probably on the level. I don't see an issue with him at all.
No, he got rattled up at the lake pretty bad.
Yeah. All right, we'll keep an eye on him. If we gotta, we'll deal with him. And I don't think it'd be relevant. No, we probably shouldn't use the cannon, should we? It's probably more of a handcuff situation.
We're going in pretty reactionary. No knowing what the situation's going to call for.
But best to have it and not need it then, right?
Suppose so.
All right, I'm going to go load it up.
We're not going to travel with a loaded cannon.
I go to practice. I mean, wouldn't it be worse if we get there and you're like, Grace, use the cannon. And I go, I do not know how to load it.
You make sure you unload it when you're done.
Yeah, I'll get to it. I'll get Griff to give me a hand with it.
And you assume it's loaded at all times until you confirm otherwise.
I know, a cannon ain't for Christmas, it's forever. I heard the spiel. I'll keep care of it. I'm going to feed it and walk it.
I'm
gonna go play with it.
Come back around. The collection of you come back around just as there's a flash of lightning in the air above you. It's far away, but you know, for a second it lights up the area, and the group of the four of you find yourselves facing each other, almost at odds for a second. Almost, Griff, as you're strolling away from the dock, you find yourself facing the two lawmen, and the collection of you all share a glance. There's an uncomfortable tension in the air. And then the rain is pounding down again, and you're moving out of the cold, and you're frantically getting about your work, and you're trying to, get something done. I'd like you to make for me, please, an intelligence test, Grease. This is you trying to put together the details of the cannon. Maybe you'll be able to learn it. I'd like you to make a pharmacy test for me, Doc. I'd like you to be putting together the details of the concoction that you're making. You can see all of the staggered areas ahead of you. One of you might want to make a navigation check. Otherwise, well, the time is yours. It's getting towards evening again. It was a long trip out.
I would be most pleased to make a navigation check to kind of plot our routes and see if there's any way we can get up there without being spotted.
Okay,
and
fantastic.
If I got any kind of cheeky little bonus die from the map.
Well, Griff, would you like to help the marshal, or are you going to be doing
from the? He's got the map, doesn't he? I've got something.
Oh
else.
yes, of course. Yes, you have a bonus die because of the map. Sorry, thank you.
You're too kind.
Quick question.
Yes, please, Doc.
An extreme success.
An In this context, an extreme success. I will let you describe. We'll go into detail about the nature of the concoction that you're making, and it will ensure all the details that you sent me.
Lovely. You may have 5 points of luck.
Oh, excellent!
I reckon that's worth
extreme
it.
success. What does the concoction look like as you finish it, put it together? I assume it's like a packet of powder, basically, like sort of a loose brick, and it will be aerosolized, and you really only need a couple of pellets of whatever the substance is to find an effect.
Yeah, I will have synthesized enough that should something go amiss, I have enough to potentially go again if necessary.
Yep.
I don't. So you said that we found some like fireworks stuff?
Yep. So you've broken fireworks. You could have pulled out like the party from it, basically.
Right. Do I have the equipment necessary to essentially create some kind of firework rather than having to rely on the cannon? Or is it definitely like a cannon thing?
Just as a heads up, for my thing, I'm gonna go look for these canyons are formed by water.
Yep.
And a thing of that size would need a well or something.
Yep.
I would propose that we try to dose their water supply as best we can. Would be probably might be a more reliable method of delivery rather than the explosion of fireworks or cannons. And that way we could potentially use the fireworks or cannons as a distraction on top of this so that we could sneak into the town additionally in a twofold plan.
How about this, Doc? Instead of being able to get you to find a way to create fireworks so that you can use those rather than the cannon, you can create the substance so it is versatile enough that it can be aerosolized or dosed in a water supply. So you have options.
We could do two. We could do both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, yeah. Have I synthesized enough that we could theoretically do both if we needed to?
Yeah. You might have to go a bit weaker on both individual ones, but yeah, you could. Absolutely. All right.
Yeah,
And
that's
this
good.
concoction, what's it doing again? Just
before we jump into that, let's go back a second. So you finished your
before
your
we get
work.
in water supplies or whatever.
I would say the stuff is like it's water soluble, so it's just like a kind of probably like what, for the fun of it, because Sandman is a thing. It's gonna be like a kind of sandy consistency and color. It's water soluble, so mix it up into water, throw it through, and it is essentially, for the most part, it might be slightly like metal tasting, but otherwise it's pretty much like colorless and odorless when it's dissolved. And it is you could probably pack it like it's powdery enough that like if you packed it in front of a cannonball and shot it, it wouldn't explode immediately. It would.
Yep, perfect. If I may, it has that vague metallic attachment to it, but it's also got a faint hit of rosemary for remembrance, just as the substance in Stillwater did so long ago.
Yes, it definitely does. And on it also, because I think I've said this a few times, Joseph's laudanum tincture is a legitimate tincture from like the 19th century called Rousseau's laudanum, which is made with whiskey and honey. And I think because medicine's always nicer if it's a bit sweet, he probably has used something sweet in its concoction as well.
Still a spoonful of sugar. Excellent. All right.
That is so much more evil.
Spoonful of honey.
You don't
helps
know
the
what
laudanum
it
go
does
down.
yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about.
Grease, you've gone in. You've started to move around the cannon a little bit. Your luck check will now be a regular luck check to use the cannon.
What? Nothing for hard or extreme. If you want to tempt me.
I'll tell you what.
Sally Snipes.
I'll tell you what. If you get an extreme luck check, I will let you pulp the hell out of this. Where you go and you spend ages looking at it, and you know what? It's almost like this cannon speaks to you. It's not just good for the comic books. It really does. I'll let you for a single time use your pistol skill to fire it once.
Actually, my luck is higher. So I'm good. But I
Luck check it
appreciate
is.
that. I will leave
Okay.
it as is. I'm very happy I know how to load it.
You
and
can use a
unload it.
regular luck check. Griff, I'm going to get you to make for me a survival check. You're trying to figure out exactly where a well would probably
Can I
be.
argue natural world?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's just as good. Yep.
It is 7 points better.
Okay, Ed, please go ahead. And
there you
meanwhile,
go.
Mac, with your navigate, you've plotted a couple of different routes. You've with a hard success.
Yeah, no, it's a hard success.
With a hard success.
It's a hard success. I locked it down.
We're talking about my hard success here.
Oh, sorry.
Matter of fact.
Oh yeah,
Apologies.
no. I was talking. Yeah, Max hard success. You're going to you've seen a couple of routes, and
Yeah.
you're going to be able to properly plot out 2 of them. You can have the sneaky route, which is perfect. You're heading around the back and weaving into town. No way you're going to get spotted. The quick route, which is you are just going to tear through, and if you go, you're going to get there as quickly as possible. Or the wagon safe route, in which you will be able to bring the wagon.
And they're cannon.
And the wagon safe route is likely to get us spotted.
No, what it will require is a roll. Just
Yeah.
like the quick route will require it's the stealth route means you don't have to roll. You're fine. You're just
Well.
you're hidden. You took the good route.
All right.
So have a think which 2 you'd like.
Which
and
2?
Which 2? The wagon route, the quick route, or the stealthy route? You
I think
pick
you've got
any
all
two.
of them, don't you? Oh, you can pick 2 of them.
You can pick
Okay,
2
I
of
see.
them.
Oh, to know.
Oh, you have to
Okay.
pick the 2 you want.
Very
Okay,
good. Excellent. All right. Cool.
Draft pick.
That is interesting.
Have a think, because Griff, meanwhile, with your natural world check, you are going to be able to head out, and you will find a couple of what you think are the beginnings of natural cave systems that probably feed down into an underground water source that is being tapped into. So you reckon with a little time spent breaking open some, maybe a little bit of minor cave diving, you'd be able to get close enough to these water streams that you'd be able to slip something into them.
Cool.
Okay, fantastic. And that's with a regular success. That's not with a hard success. If you'd like to luck it down to a hard
No, I got a
success-
hard success. Sorry, I already lucked it.
You already
I
lucked it? In which
Yeah.
case, you not only that, you'll find one that's big enough that you think you might even be able to follow it into the town. Possibly, it'd be difficult. You'd have to do a lot of swimming, and it'd be a
And
endeavor.
climb
but
up
you
the
could,
well out the
yeah, if you want
This
to,
well
go
goes
full.
right
Mission
into
Impossible.
the orphanage and the home for disabled dogs. So the poison will get right where it needs to go.
All right. So we can spike their water supply, not poison. Spike
Uh-huh.
is the operative word.
So the collection of you will all return. The rain is still pouring down. Rain in the desert. It's like dusty mud everywhere. In fact, it's enough that there's like little sloughs of dusty, horrible dirt that's kind of running across. You come up and you all rejoin each other, and you can see Doc moving forward with this small packet. The concoction is done, whatever it was. The floor is yours.
Well, I found an entrance to the water supply. If we can put it in that way.
All right.
Supposing I spotted a pretty sneaky route. I reckon we could make it up there without being spotted, and then at the very least we can see if it's the whole town that's a present threat or not.
One other thing that comes to mind is oh shit, we don't know that.
Right.
Hey
ain't
Doc,
psychic.
did
That makes our life easier.
yeah, wait, no. What's in the what's that packet of stuff going to do? You muted.
Oh, we'll never know, I'm afraid.
Muted. Knock him out.
Right. And if it goes in the water, it's gonna work.
Should do. I mean, I think it would. Jamie, do I know the best? Like, if we put it all in the water, versus like all in the air versus combined, do I have, as a doctor, a good idea of which is the most likely to be effective in this given situation?
Hey, you got an extreme success. It'll be effective.
Okay.
Look, air is probably better if you can fire it up there with a cannon, just because there might be some people who are on a juice cleanse and don't want any water. But look, it'll work.
I
I'm
will
thinking-
say the disadvantage to air is that they hear it. Like,
Also-
it will be obvious.
And the
We will be
disadvantage to
firing-
water is it's like a time. Like we put it in the water and then we probably
Yeah,
have to wait
we'll have
a
to
day.
wait until it takes
Yeah.
effect. Yeah, 100%. Look, there's disadvantages to both sides.
If I can jump in just with all of the throwing everything aside, because I think it would just be such a cool moment. You could put it in the water and then come in and I surrender kind of stuff. Let yourself get taken captive, and then
And wait.
have everyone start dropping.
And don't drink the water.
I mean,
not
I
bad.
don't drink water anyway.
Well, on the other hand, if we got a fuse long enough for the cannon, we could just let the horse take it on up there with a long fuse, wait for it to blow, and then that's our way in.
I think
There's no walls around this town, is it? It's just a town.
No, they have natural walls in the sort of craggy
In the
rocks that
craggy
surround them,
rocks,
but no, and you've spent some time looking at it bit by bit. When you took out your binoculars, one of the lenses was broken just so, just an odd little detail there. But when you look through, you can see that it's a relatively large town, probably maybe a couple of hundred people, 200 maybe, and it's hard to gauge. You can see this large cathedral-like structure, much bigger than it has any right to be for the town, and out around the rear of the town, you can see what looks like a larger Spanish fort, castle of some sort.
So- If it's a fort, is it going to have its own water supply? Ain't that a thing for being besieged?
Maybe.
You can make a history check.
But in that case, we'll get the town, but not the fort.
So we'll get the innocents for sure.
Yeah, but it's just knocking them out and keeping them out of the fight. That's perfect. And then we can kill the people who ain't innocent or arrest them or whatnot.
How about we take that sneaky back route? See if we can't get a good look as to exactly what's going on up there.
You want to do
Change our
that
plan
before we spike the water supply?
Then at least we know exactly whose water it is we're spiking.
But what if we don't get caught?
Don't get caught.
I mean, that's easy for us to say, but
Some folks sneak up, some folks don't. The folks going up don't come back, then
all right.
guess we're in motion.
it's not a bad thought.
The signal
I
will be firing the
think it-
cannon.
I think it would be a good idea for a two-pronged approach. Spark the water, use the aerosol as much as possible. It should be as effective, given my extreme success. I hope it is. Yeah, it should be effective from both angles.
Marshall, why don't you and Grease sneak into the town, and the doc and I'll stay back. And if you don't return, then we'll spike the water supply. Just be making sure that you don't drink any of the water. And then a few hours later, we might fire I don't think we'll fire the cannon. I
Oh,
think
I-
You
that's-
do not fire the cannon. That's mine. I want to be the one that fires it.
I think it's a fine plan, Griff. I think if we go up there and we don't come back, you spike the water, we still don't come back, and you think it's safe
go
to
in
come
after
get
you.
us, and you can bring the cannon.
Mac, even if it ain't safe, I'm coming in after you.
Likewise.
That's more than I can ask for.
Mac, are you
Okay.
remotely sneaky? Just quick cue. Because normally it's Griff and I that do this, and I'm beginning to recall that there's a reason.
Well, if I had to put some kind of percentage chance of me getting up there not being spotted, I'd say it's about the 20-4 mark.
Oh!
That's lockable.
But with your route, you can probably get to the edge of town.
Oh, wait,
pretty
no, you
sneak-
said sneaky route doesn't require a roll. So
I did. If you go the sneaky route, you won't need to roll.
Ah,
You won't
big
get
up.
into
And then
town
if you-
properly.
Yeah, if you
Nice.
need to sneak around the actual town, Grease can go ahead and do that while you wait
by the edge of town. Sorry, current divorce. While you wait by the edge of town, and then, if he get caught, you can come back and tell us even.
Oh, hold on a second. I'm gonna walk over to horse with all of the camping supplies, and I'm pretty sure I still fucking have.
Yep.
And pull off a couple of pretty decent sized canteens.
Sure.
And give them to Mac and Grace, and just say, "Don't drink the water, just in case."
Good idea.
Okay. So, is that a plan then? Will the two of you be taking the sneaky route round the back towards Castronegro?
That's a plan.
Okay.
Rock and roll.
So, the collection of you take one last look at each other, give each other a nod. Griff is bedraggled and wet but determined. The doc is inscrutable, difficult to read. Grease is Grease, and Mac is Mac. You split up. Mac and Grease, the two of you tear off, but you are swallowed by the rain in moments. You start to follow along this path. It takes you on a wide berth out through twisting canyons when you're scrambling over rocks several times. It's actually quite difficult to navigate. Everything is wet here, and your clothes are immediately soaking through, and dirt and grime and dust is all over you. But somehow the bright colors of Mac's coat still manage to shine through. We tear around until at last you get to the outskirts of the town and see it approaching. Is there anything you'd like to do on the way, or any conversation you'd like to have on the way, or any objective you have once you get there?
Just want to take a look, see if there are any obviously innocent bystanders that we're gonna hurt, or more specifically, Doc might hurt.
All right. And as you creep over there, we can jump back, way back up. The two of you are standing about by by the horses, by the camp. Any conversation? Any plans? In which
I ain't got
case,
nothing to say, unless the doc has anything they would wish to share.
No, I think Doc's just gonna turn around and say, "Griff, I think we best back that water supply."
You want to do it before they get back?
I don't wanna, but if they go hollering, something happens, we are gonna have to rush. And I don't want to be dealing something delicate like this in a hurry. I want to get this right.
I would like to roll a psychology check, and if I fail, I will agree to spike the
right.
water now. But if I succeed, I would like to hold off for a while.
sure. Go
I mean,
ahead.
I have 14 in psychology.
Look.
If
I
it-
think I
Or do you want to keep it in?
I think that at this stage, let's keep it in character. I
Okay.
think I'm going to ask you, how does Griff feel? What does Griff think?
If you think we should wait, I'm happy to wait. I just worry about getting it wrong.
Let's just give it a little while. If they
Oh, for
wait too.
clarity, this is like, I would not have said this
No,
immediately.
they go over the horizon.
And
You're like,
let's
all
go.
right, let's stack the water.
And let's take
get
their
it.
stuff.
I do the equivalent of look at my watch. I go, give them another few hours and we'll see. If they get held up by something, I think we would run the risk of going with the plan.
Yep.
But I think if everything is smooth, I think we're fine.
Okay.
I don't think I'll enact the plan.
All right. Oh, scary cat.
Get the shit out of my cat. Oops.
All right.
All right, Doc. It nods. It's like, all right. If you want
Give him a minute. Let him have some time to. Yeah.
I'm just
Mac, you start to see as you get close, the town is pretty well and truly shuttered up. It's pouring wet outside, and no one wants to be out in this kind of rain. As you're glancing through, trying to get a read on the situation, you can see Grease next to you, peering through his binoculars. I'd like you to make a spot hidden check, trying to get some kind of detail, trying to get some kind of information.
Avoid I think they're my binoculars. that he's
Yeah, I'm
just
looking
stolen
through my
at some point.
hands. You're the one that's doing it. I'm just happy to be involved.
Spot hidden, you say?
I do.
Then I will give you 7 points of luck.
Okay.
Spot anything that's hidden.
It doesn't look like there's anyone around here, but then No, there's someone. You see someone like coming down and shuddering their way out of the back of a store and heading up towards a set of stairs that heads up to a second landing. You look around this town. It's a town. There are people here. They're not all wearing robes. They're wearing clothes. You know, there is definitely a strange air to this place. But if you had walked in here cold, not expecting on a normal day, you would have been immediately set on edge by the giant, strange cathedral, which now that you get close is almost omnipresently evil. Like there is this giant robed figure holding a scythe with a flat face underneath the robes. You know, you can't see anything.
A statue?
The statue, yeah.
Okay, very good.
Statue. But you know, the people here, they look like people. It's a little bit of I'm thinking of the town in the Fellowship of the Ring the hobbits arrive at, that the Brandywine pub is in. Is that I forget the name
Bray.
of the town. But when everyone's a little creepy and everything's a little off, but
That's just Peter
people.
Jackson. Don't be mean to him.
Oh, hideous! Just poor Peter Jackson. Something's not right, but it's a town. If you want, you can see a saloon at one side. It's raining. It's not a nice time, but you could head over to it. You could get inside.
What do you think? Best way to take a temperature of a town is
I mean,
see what people are saying when they're drinking.
I agree, and they said they'd come get us if things go to worst, and I reckon this is the right thing to do.
All right, badges off.
All right, badges off.
All right.
And let's
Take off your
say we're
badges.
travelers or something, just stopping by. Blah, blah. I'll follow your lead.
Okay. The two of you head out. You stow away the most visible signs of your allegiance, and you make your way further out into Castronegro. As you start walking through the town, you can see, you know, the looming shadows of the cloud growing thicker as lightning flashes once or twice in the sky. This rain really isn't letting up. Back at the camp, it's been a bit longer, not a ton longer. How are you feeling now, Griff? Still wait a while?
I'm on edge, but give him another hour, maybe. Let's just give him a little bit. Let's see what. Give him a chance.
Okay. The place that you walk into has written above it. Oh, yes, Doc. Sorry.
Sorry, I was muted. I attempted to say something, and as per usual, I spoke
get ya.
silently to my own screen.
And
I'm
your cat.
gonna probably turn to Griff at this point because it's been a little while, and just say 30 minutes. They've been gone longer than they should.
All right.
It'll give us the only reason I say this is I don't want to be rushed getting to them if we still got something to get done. This is gonna take a while to get to the town anyway. It's not an immediate effect, and if they start hollering in an hour, then we gotta go then. We can't wait till they start hollering to do this. If you want to wait, you came through for me. We'll wait. It gets harder to do this right, Griff, if we're rushed.
All right. Get your things. Let's go.
So if you gather up your effects, and Griff, you lead Doc towards the source of the water you know is nearby. You walk inside the saloon. It's called the Pearl. As you step inside, you are immediately greeted with a gruff crowd of people. They're surprised to see you come in, but not shocked. It's not everyone drops everything and is surprised to see somebody. There's a few people who notice you, but people are mostly focused on their drinking. People are a little, there's that kind of hotness in the air where everyone came in to the place soaking wet and now their clothes are just starting to dry out. There's a mugginess about. This place is only one story as far as you can tell, but it's quite long. Up the back, you can see that there's a rougher crowd. You can see working girls passing between the various tables. There's a bar set up, and people who are doing more serious drinking are stationed around it. There's chairs aplenty. You can very easily head over to one. A couple of people look you up and down as you come in, but apart from that, no immediate reaction. This place is full of civilians, as far as you can tell.
Can we take advantage of everyone looking at us when we first come in?
Absolutely.
I cough slightly awkward. I go, "It's raining."
Make a fast talk or a hard charm or a fast talk.
I mean, it is raining. I think it's
raining?
charm. I'm trying
But
to be.
this is throwing. It's charm. It's charm.
Yeah, it's
I
charm.
was saying you're throwing people off, basically, but charm is
Ka-chow.
fine.
It's technically not a lie. Like it is raining.
The reactions range from like to like that's I sort of nod and a snort, and people are immediately pretty much disarmed.
Can Mac and I go over to anyone who looked to be friendly enough that kind of laughed at the comment and then maybe kept our gaze from it, just someone that we could talk to that might be on a bit of a friendlier default setting than evil cultists?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a woman sitting at the next to the bar, working their way through some gin, and they're wearing quite elaborate clothes. They smile, they laugh a little bit, good-naturedly. When you approach, she nods at the two of you. Everyone else is looking about their business, and she holds up a hand and says, "Well, it sounds like I've made a friend. Two of you fine gentlemen heading towards our pretty little town. What's your names, darling?"
Evening, ma'am. My name's Grace. There's Mac.
Well, fantastic. My name's Madame Gill. I run the Calico Cat, which is a accessory business to this here saloon, shall we say. And
That'll be a brothel.
Well, very wise to the world you are, young man.
I picked up on a thing or two. I ran into
I
someone
see.
in your business before. Charming woman.
I see. Well, I presume that your father will not be letting you partake just at this fine moment, will he? And looks towards Mac.
Just passing through. Thank you, ma'am.
I see. Passing through Castronegro. Now, that's a story. You just happen across the place? Just happen to stroll through all the cliffs and crags?
Any port in the storm. Saw the lights blinking. Figured we didn't want to be in the rain any longer. We had to.
Any port in a storm. Now that I do believe. Well, let me tell you something about this place. Whatever you're running from, don't mention it here, and it won't come seeking you. Just forget about it. Don't ask no questions, and you can live. Pull up a seat, why don't you?
All right, I'll take you up on your offer, and if you're having a drink, I'll get one as well for myself and Mac. I only drink milk, but I think Mac will have a whiskey. I know you said no questions, but I got a few real burning ones, and I think they're important enough that they can kind of slip past your rule. I mean, they're obvious, too, about the local architecture and the prominence of a giant sickle-wielding statue.
Drinks are poured for the collection of you. They have milk. You get a glass of milk.
She seems
put
perfectly
to you.
friendly.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm glad we didn't drug the water supply.
Bartender's name is Jethro. Jethro pours you milk, pours you whiskey, Mac. And another gin for fine Madame Gill. Madame Gill kind of looks towards you, nods a few times, says, "Yeah, we got our own ways here. A nice, interesting local branch of Catholicism."
I mean, it don't look real Catholic.
Well, I'd be very happy to talk about scripture at some point with you, but maybe we should do it, and she picks up her drink, when we ain't engaged in sin.
That's fair, and I drink my milk.
Turns back towards the collection of the both of you and says, "Now, I do see that the two of you have the best of intentions, but that is the kind of question that you'll want to keep to yourself until you're ready to come to some services."
Services. Where can we expect? When can we expect to run into one of those?
Well, we run a dawn service, and there's a midnight mass at the end of each week.
Dawn service every day.
That's right. Well, not everyone goes every time, but it's nice. It's a sense of community. You know, it's very important to us. We got to trust everybody who's in here.
Of course.
Mighty pious town. You
Absolutely.
get many folks in here that you can't trust.
Can you make for me a fast talk check at this stage?
Yeah, I'm asking a lot of very suspicious sounding questions.
Well, we're suspicious.
No.
You tell me.
I'm gonna.
Tell you?
You tell me. Have I met anyone I can't trust?
Well, not at this table.
Oh, well then, I trust everybody in town.
Well, my father's asking about. I mean, so you have a midnight service? Is one of them coming up real soon?
Well, we just had one the other day, so you'll have to wait until next week. But, you know, I'm sure that the Reverend could arrange a private event for you if you should so want to. Christopher is a very kind soul.
Of course. And he'd live up in that big fortification, would he?
Yes, with his extended family. They
David.
own Castronegro. You know.
You've been mighty hospitable so far. Do you know if there are rooms we can get for the night?
Absolutely. You want to head to the boarding house, but some of the staff here sell keys. You can get right in after some heavy drinking. Let me organize something and see if I can't wrestle you up some food. She also talks. She sort of says some nice pleasantries to Grease. At one point when Grease is distracted, she will kind of look to you, Mac, and say, are there any other of our services you'll be need?
Not tonight so far, but thank you for
Comes a
your
lot
hospitality.
less interested in you right afterwards and basically handballs you off to the bartender to do all the work for.
Wow.
Jump
Baby
away for a
gotta eat.
second. Back at the town, back at the former camp, I suppose, you have reached a collection of craggy rocks that you know lead down into the underground water supply that feeds into Castronegro. Can you give me an ominous description of, like, you know, do they form up to like a brooding peak, or is there like are you at the edge of like a small cliff overlooking a sudden drop? What's the natural geography here, Griff?
I think it ominously looks. It's like the water comes up and over down a waterfall into pure darkness, and that's what's ominous about it. Is you look down here, you just see pure darkness. You can hear the trickle of water down there, but you know that it goes deeper. But how deep, no one is to know.
Okay, fantastic. And as you
My
stand
version of
around.
ominous is so different.
You stand around this pit that drips down like a hole into nothing. You hear the faint trickle of water. You turn back. The doc is moving forward with this bundle of concoction grasped in his hands. Doc, you can see...
After you, you're the scientist. You know what you're doing here. That'll be the entrance to the town's water supply.
All right. Griff,
Yep.
if you don't want to be here for this, you don't have to be.
Well, I'm already here. It'll just knock him out, like you said. This isn't the bad part of what we're about to do. This is just what's necessary. Just
Yeah.
gonna knock him out. Be fine.
Griff, do you believe that?
I think Griff does believe the doc. The doc had told him that it wouldn't hurt them, and that's how Griff has chosen to interpret that. Or that is, sorry, not chosen. That is how he has interpreted that.
Okay.
He has been if that is not true, then he has been lied to.
But he
in
truly
his mind.
believes. He truly believes that.
Yeah,
this
he
is-
believes that the doc is telling the truth.
Okay. Okay.
Do I know? Do I pick that up?
I think you can pick that up. He seems relatively honest and trusting of you at this stage. Yeah.
Right. Cool. Then I'm going to stop, and I'm going to look at him, and I'm going to say, Griff, I want you to understand what is happening. I do not want to lie to you. This is going to knock them out, and they ain't getting back up again.
What?
I told you.
Yeah, but I thought that would happen after, like when we knock all the innocent people out, and then we take out the ones who need to be taken out.
Yeah, that is the plan.
But there's probably like kids up there. Hold on, what? I'd like to step in front and between the doctor and the hall. Doesn't sound like the doctor tries to stop you. Okay. I thought we were on the level here, Doc. I thought that was I thought it was just gonna knock him out, like you said.
It is just going to knock him out. And there is a chance, given that we're only using half of it, that a fair number of them might get back up again if we choose to let them. I cannot promise everyone will get back up because it's medicine. Not everyone responds the same way.
Dog, this is different. This ain't right. This ain't, we can't do that. I'd like you to give it to me if that's okay. Griff stands in front of you, kind of this large, bedraggled shape. Before you move, you start feeling this kind of ringing build in your ears as you watch forward. You can feel that growing numbness again in front of you. And you're looking at Griff. Is it worth letting it all go? You handing it over? If Griff knows, he might stop you from getting the rest of it. Or maybe this is right. Maybe this is the way it should be. Maybe you just needed someone to stop you. As you think, as you start to go through everything in your mind, this presence of something else, something other, is swelling in your head. And you can remember burning into your mind the chant that you heard, the chant that was sung by Elijah Smythe, the chant that called something. Griff's big, but if you want him out of the way, you could call something bigger.
Griff, this needs to happen. For all the reasons I said it needed to. I do not want to lie to you. I do not want to hurt you. I do not want to push past you. I want you to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Doc, please. This ain't right. There's parts up in that. There may be parts in that town that ain't evil. People that ain't up to no good. There could be kids up there.
You know the kind of people who are poor enough to be good in a town like that? They probably ain't got access to a water supply from a well. They probably have to go out and get them themselves.
Now you're just making up justifications for yourself. You can't guarantee that. I'm so sorry. I'm going to jump in with one more thing, one more point. As the two of you are standing across from each other, you felt at some point torn about what was going to happen, Doc. You felt confused, and now it seems the determination has come over you. Once again, that struggle is happening. Inside you, the building pressure in your head feels like it's going to split open. So I want you to, as your mind is kind of flickering away in and out, I want you to make a decision. And this is sort of something that the doc just fixes to right then, right there. Are you going to make this happen, or are you not going to make this happen?
Griff, I need you to step aside. Please.
I don't know if I can do that. And I would like to Can I? I don't know how to do this.
Before
sure.
in the moment of confusion, I was taking that as a you're gonna make it happen. Just confirming. Thank you. It was very well done. You see the doc kind of close their eyes for a second, and then they open it, and they are a deep black. The same jet black that you saw at the mine, the same presence and alien kind of. It is easier to let something take over at this stage to allow focus, even if it's just a flicker, even if it's just for a moment. You see in the doc an irrevocable change. You see a friend, someone who saved you, changed. You need to make a sanity check, and Doc, so do you, as the pressure in your head finally breaks through the dam that has been holding it back, and this black, malignant, horrible tumor of the elder god inside your brain winds its way through every vein in your head, and you know the last thought in your mind is you think of the promise you made to Taza, and you realize that the only way that you're going to stop this thing at this point is if you went into your doctor's bag and took out a drill and carved this thing out, along with most of what made sense to you in life.
I don't think I'm going to do that.
Yeah, so sanity check from Griff, a success. Oh, both of you successes. Okay, so I'm going to ask for 1d4 from Griff. I'm going to ask for 1d6 from Joseph.
Oh, also, I will tell you straight away, it doesn't really matter what I roll at this point. If Griff does not step aside,
Yep.
I'm calling my friend.
Okay, fantastic.
Gonna get worse.
You say a D4 from me?
Yes, just a d4. Just a small little d4. 1, okay.
And 4 from me, yeah.
All right. The tiniest bit. As you stagger backwards, you can already see Joseph's lips beginning to move, beginning to tremble as he prepares to mouth the words of the dreaded chant, the dreaded spell. And as the two of you...
I got something. Can I?
Yeah, absolutely.
As he starts to speak, I turn to him and I go, Doc, if there's anything that you left in there, then you got to know this one thing. If you're going to poison this town, you're going to poison me as well. And I'll step back into the thing and jump into the darkness of the water supply.
Ooh, fantastic. So you let go and you jump down and whoosh, suddenly we were sweeping along and you blink and for a second your eyes, Doc, are... back to normal for just a moment. You realize what you're seeing. You're thrown into a world of turbulent despair, black water around you, Griff, as you struggle. Every survivalist instinct is you telling you this is the worst position you can be in. And Mac and Grease, as the two of you are preparing to leave the saloon, you will both turn around just in time to see someone stroll into the room, someone with a terrifying aura about them that makes everybody immediately look away from their drinks and try and avoid this person's gaze. And we're going to leave the session there. We'll start next session with a description of Christopher, with Griff frantically trying to survive, and with Doc having to decide whether he will poison the water supply or not. Thanks, everybody. That was, things are heating up. We're getting towards the end of Shadows Over Stillwater. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to the wonderful cast. Thank you to Art. Thank you to Daniel. Thank you to Dave. Thank you to Jackson. You're all amazing.
Hey, Jimmy.
Oh,
Got it.
So you remember you can check out on Saturday. We have the White Bull campaign for RuneQuest, and we have plenty of other exciting things on the Chaosium YouTube channel. Subscribe to us there. Follow us here. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.